All right, let's play some cello. It must be winter. All right, so I wanted to share this tuning video because a lot of times when you're starting out tuning, working with these pegs can be incredibly frustrating, and you're also on the edge of your seat because you think you're gonna like knock your eye out when you break the string, or you already broke a string and you've been to the store to get new ones and you don't want to do it again. So here we go. If the strings all get really loose, firstly, I want you to make sure that the bridge is at least relatively straight and that the sound post is still up. It's always good to check. We don't want to be putting a bunch of pressure on the top of the instrument when the sound post has fallen down. So if all the strings get super loose, that can happen. Good to double check. Yeah, so you don't ruin your instrument. If the bridge and the sound post look good, then we're gonna start by just getting the strings close to where we want them to be. And then I'm gonna show you, a way to kind of practice using the pegs where you're not bringing them all the way to the pitch that you're shooting for initially, so you can just get used to coordinating the motion that's needed. I'm using my daughter's 3/4 cello as an example because you're probably a parent watching this video trying to figure out how the heck do I get this thing in tune. In any case, let's start with an A. You can get an A, I'm grabbing it from my cello, but you can get an A online or with your tuner. Now, if you're working on pitch matching, this is a good exercise too. I'm shooting for that A, but I'm down here. See if you can hear that difference and actually sing it. And now you have a target, right? And actually, instead of going to the A, I'm going to go to a G here. Boom. And when I tune the G first, and I'll show you why I'm doing this way in a second, I want to make sure when I'm tuning the low strings that I can coordinate this. I want to hold the cello with my right hand, and you notice it's facing me. Okay, so I'm holding the cello neck with my right hand. And then I want to make sure I can hold it and pluck that G string with one hand because I want to hear the pitch that I'm at. So make sure you're turning the right peg. Here's the G string peg. And you want to be able to hear that pitch change as you turn the peg so that you're not overshooting it, because cello strings are manufactured incredibly precisely, and so they're designed to sit exactly at the pitch that they're supposed to be. If we go past that, snap, it's an issue, right? So I think that's fairly close here, and that's, if you have fine tuners, enough of a ballpark that you can move on to other strings, get everything real close. So again, practice holding the neck with your right hand, plucking the C string, which is nothing here, right? There's no tension on this. So G, C is going to be about there. Now I want to be able to pluck and turn. As I turn the peg, I'm not just turning it because I might get it to that C and then it just drops. I need to be able to push in the peg against the right hand that's holding the neck, so I'm pushing inward and plucking at the same time. So this is why it takes some coordination, right? So practice plucking with one hand first, and then add the turning and pushing, and see if you can get it to pitch there. So that's the way to practice coordinating this here. Let's check our G again. I'm going to go up, da da, pushing and plucking all together. And then the C string's a little flat, so you can practice this. Okay, now because I'm adding tension to one string, the string adjacent to it might go flat, because as we add tension to the top of the instrument, it's going to compress a little. So that's why you want to get things to a ballpark first and then work on refining from there. And if you have fine tuners, that's much easier. Speaking of which, if these are bottomed out, before you bother tuning the pegs, you might want to loosen these because string instruments tend to go flat instead of sharp, and so we want these nice and open. And so I'm going to detune again for just another chance to practice here. Especially when the strings go out anyways, is a great opportunity to open these up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And in the meantime, you can practice plucking with the other hand, because if we're tuning the upper strings, now we need to reverse our coordination. Instead of holding with the right hand and turning with the left, now we have to do the opposite. We're going to hold with the left hand, so you want to pluck, be able to find that coordination, and now I'm doing the D string. Okay, so turning and pushing in so that the peg will be held by the friction. So I'm just going to get the G to a ballpark here. Again, pluck, push in. And you want to use a tuner or some other reference. Switching the hands. Now, the A string is the scariest one. Because it has the most tension. And so what I want you to do with the A string in particular is tune it to a G first. You're going to practice targeting the G, so it's an octave above your low G here. So that's the target. Instead of La, instead of your A, you're going to target this so you can practice this motion again. Pluck with the left hand while holding the neck. Push with the right. And you're just trying to get it to stay at a G first, okay? And if you can have enough tension to get it to stay at the G, you're much more likely to be able to get it to stay at the A. Unfortunately, I have no guarantees for you. They're finicky. It's a process, so work on that. Let's just hear the bowed A one more time. That's what we're shooting for. Go real slow. Okay, now what's likely happened is we put so much tension on that side of the bridge that the D is no longer a D. Ooh, bummer. But you get the idea. You can practice targeting a pitch that's lower than where the string is manufactured to be at. And that way, if you overshoot it, it's less of a big deal. You're less likely to snap the string. And work on practicing the coordination of plucking without the turn, and then hopefully you can get it in the ballpark here. Once it's in the ballpark and our fine tuners are nice and open, you can work on finding that it was a little flat there. And now we have an in-tune cello.